Preface and Introduction of The Life of Blessed Jean-Baptiste-Marie Vianney, Curé of Ars. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Ed Humple. The Life of Blessed Jean-Baptiste-Marie Vianney, Curé of Ars, by Anonymous. Preface. Spiritual reading has always been encouraged by our Holy Mother Church, because it strengthens our faith and stimulates us to be more devout in the practice of our religion. The materialistic tone and trend of most modern literature, however, makes the reading and dissemination of Catholic books all the more urgent and necessary at the present time. The mind is molded largely by reading, and good minds were never more needed than today, to combat the effects of the mental poison which is daily absorbed by young and old through the medium of degrading literature. True, there are issued good books and periodicals which are not strictly religious in tone, but which nevertheless have a salutary influence upon the reader's mind. Their number, however, is comparatively small. Good spiritual reading should not be made merely an infrequent departure from the reading of everyday literature, but should be indulged in regularly and systematically by the Catholic laity in general. Good books play an important part in fostering the early evidences of vocation. The youth, under their influence, voluntarily moves nearer to the goal of his aspirations, unforced by the caprice of the thoughtless or over-enthusiastic parents. Numerous little incidents are associated with the life of the blessed Jean-Baptiste Vianney, which will help to develop the germ of sacerdotal vocation. The young seminarian will find Vianney's life to be a genuine exhortation which will operate to fortify him in the face of trials and temptation. The priest himself, who aims to acquire all the graces which may bless the priesthood, may justly take pleasure in imitating the virtues, zeal, piety, and charity of the humble Curé of Ars. The little volume describes in simple language the life of a man who, in our own time, earned by his holiness, acts of self-sacrifice, self-abnegation, and miracles, wrought through the intervention of God, the blessings of beatification. Vianney's life may be read with profit by everyone. The description of his toils and sufferings in behalf of his fellow men, and his efforts to save souls, cannot fail to inspire the reader with uplifting thoughts. Introduction. On January 8, 1905, Jean-Baptiste-Marie Vianney, that most humble of country curates, was admitted by our Holy Father, Pope Pius X, into the glorious ranks of the beatified of the Catholic Church. And in very truth that devoted guardian of souls had well merited the exalted distinction thus conferred, for, during the 42 years of his holy life, countless thousands had come under the influence of his active and untiring zeal, and were guided by him in the way of their salvation. The fame of the gentle Curé of Ars has long since passed the boundaries of his native land, and the fact that his name has been officially promulgated for veneration is sufficient reason for presenting this noble personality to the attention of the Catholics of English-speaking countries. We do this with the greater pleasure, since in thus seeking to promote the honor of the blessed Curé, we are at one with our Holy Father, who constantly keeps his statue before him upon his desk in the Vatican Palace. Thereby Pius X himself manifests his high regard for the Blessed One and confirms the words pronounced shortly before the beatification of the former humble Curé. Upon that occasion the Holy Father said, "We can hardly give befitting expression to the joy of our soul whilst we make public the solemn decree which affirms the validity of the miracles worked by God through the intercession of the venerable Jean-Baptiste Vianney. For our part, during the many years that we have exercised the pastoral office with affectionate solicitude, nothing more agreeable has taken place,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?